Are you ready?
Hey guys, I'm Halsey, and I'm on The Night Show with Mitch, Churi.
All right, my next guest is ready to take over the show. She's going to be here for the next hour. She hasn't given us an album in a long time. She has battled with really serious health stuff over the last 18 months. We haven't seen much from her. Removed herself from social media. She did have her first baby almost 3 years ago now. She's a mum. She's a pop star. The one and only Halsey is about to join the Zoom meeting any second now, to be honest. I can see her up in the studio. Hold on, she's joining now. Can you hear me, Halsey? Hi.
I wish they had waiting music.
I've said that for years. I think we need hold music. Let's pitch it to Zoom.
You heard me.
I heard you. You know what? Great. This is good business for you, Halsey. You should write hold music for Zoom. Money would flood in. It would.
You're not wrong, honestly. If this doesn't go well, that might be where I have to turn to.
Hey, listen, I have never had you on the show before, and I've been doing this almost a decade, and I think, A, rude, disgusting, that this has never happened for us, because if there's something going on, and I've been a fan for such a long time, and so this just feels right that it's finally happening. Welcome to The Night Show. Great to have you on Australian radio. Hey, I'm loving everything that we're getting from you. Like, I go on TikTok, and I'm like, I scroll through all the election stuff and Trump and Kamala, and then I get like a Halsey thing. I'm like, thank God, this is the break I need in my life, more Halsey. It's so cool.
Oh God. That means the world to me, because I'm like, everyone, you have to be on TikTok now. And for me, like, getting on TikTok, I was like, I want to do it my way. I want to have some fun with it, and do like the little skits and whatever else. And it's been a really awesome reprieve for, for anyone who hasn't heard the record or seen the video yet. It does kind of get into some heavy subjects. And so, getting to have a little bit of fun on the side has been like, it's been such a reprieve, and it's been so awesome. So I'm glad you're seeing them. I'm glad they're connecting. I will make sure that I keep it going.
Good. Yeah, do it for me. If anyone, think Mitch really wants more TikToks. When you're exhausted and they're like, with a label like, Halsey, you do a dance, you make a silly little dance. But Mitch in Australia wants it. Do it for me.
It is quite funny, isn't it? It is quite funny. It's just like, it's a little less, I will say it's a little less demanding. It's just like, do you maybe a dance? Maybe you want to do a dance? And sometimes, for me, I'm like, guys, I'm a mom. Like, I'm not, there's so many people that are so cool. And so that's why, I did do a dance actually for Lucky. And I was like, I'm only doing this if I get to be like super awkward and bad at it, because I'm not trying to sell anybody on the dream that I'm some like super cool influencer girl, because I'm not.
But then authenticity sings true. That's why TikTok is so successful, right? Because we're allowing our audience or us to watch these authentic people in real time. So I think authenticity works. So keep being geeky, dorky mum. It's good. It's working for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Lucky, like you mentioned, is out everywhere now. It is so good. It's the lead single of Halsey's 5th album. It's coming. It's interpolating Britney Spears' Lucky, of course, which is good, as well as Monica's Angel of Mine. Oh my God, this song is so hot, man. Hearing it on the radio, like as a radio presenter, I hear songs come through like on streaming. I'm like, how's it going to sound on radio? Because that's it's actually quite hard to make a song for broadcast radio. And it sounds brilliant, Halsey. It is really a really great song. How long have you had this one in the tank? Because I feel like this, I'm interpolating Britney and Monica. It's like, oh, this one must have been cooking for a while.
Yeah, we definitely had it for a long time, because obviously, it's like quite a process going through and getting everything. And I'm glad you think it sounds great on the radio, because I'm very particular about my mixes, for my songs. And, it's funny, I don't sample or interpolate all that often. It's not something that I do. And this is actually the only record on the album that has any sort of sample or interpolation. So it was a really interesting process. And I think because the song was meant to be sort of like, I wanted the song to feel like a memory, kind of, like you're remembering a song that might have been on the radio when you were younger, but you're not entirely sure, so that's why it's kind of just like this mishmash of Monica, of Britney, of me, of just like the scrapbook of lo-fi cool audio, whatever. And it just felt so meant to be. And also, while I was when I was really sick, which is, a lot of what the song is about, I found myself walking around singing Lucky quite often, almost a little sarcastically. You're kind of like, I'm so lucky, I'm a star. And I would say it, and I'd be like, in the doctor's office, or I'd be like, like 7 IVs attached to me. So it's
Yeah.
going like, I'm so lucky. Like, and then it kind of grew on me in like a heartwarming way. And so it felt so personal to me that I really just wanted to incorporate it with this part of my story. And I still can't believe it happened. I really can't. I just can't believe it happened. I was like, how come nobody's done this yet? How am I doing this?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It is such a fun song. And I love that you say that. I'll speak to my experience because I have a brain condition. So I get shocking migraines, headaches, and like it's hellfire. There's not much really they can do for it. But you have to kind of take the little wins, right? And you need to, when you live with something like that, you gotta make the most out of the moments where you're feeling good, and you gotta spin a bad day into a good day. So I love that you do that for yourself, because especially with your schedule, like you said, you're a mother, you're coming up the 5th album, you got this music, like you must just get exhausted. So I'm glad you're looking out for yourself, because you got to.
Definitely something that I learned, and I hope you're doing the same, because it's hard. It's funny when you're looking from the outside in and you don't really realize what it's like. But the thing that I've found since putting out Lucky and putting out the video is just like the leagues of people coming out in droves, just being like, this is my experience, this is my experience, this is my experience. And I had thought at the time that I was a little nervous that the song I was writing was a little too specific, to what I was going through, and it wasn't going to connect in the same way as my other music. And I was really surprised to see just how much it was connecting with people who have been, through some sort of the variation of the experience. And it's for all of us who just like need a day to be like, just take care of ourselves. And I definitely have I'm excited to be back and working again, but I've definitely slowed down a little bit compared to how I used to. I'm also 29. I'm going to be 30 soon, and I was 18 when I wrote my first album, and I also just gotta face the facts and be like, girl, you gotta slow down.
Oh my God, it's 18 when you released the first album. I saw the video of you out the front of that, I don't know, Dangerfield or Hot Topic in the US singing. I'm like, that's my Halsey. Look at her, she's a little baby. She's been doing this so long. Like, and the fans, like, I'm 30 next year, so I'm same life era as you. And it's so crazy to think that we've now been working, like I've been in radio almost 10 years, you've been doing this over 10 years. Are you like excited for 30? Are you one of those people that think, I'm going to change, I'm going to wake up, something's going to like click over in my head and I'm going to be a different person, or no?
I am excited. I think that I'm excited because, I feel like I've been to so many places, both like, quite literally, but then also metaphorically, spiritually. And so I feel like I'm going into 30 pretty confident about who I am and what matters to me, and like what my values are and what's important. And I think that's kind of the best way to start a new decade. Because I feel like I did spend quite a bit of my 20s, as you should. I spent quite a bit of my 20s kind of being like, who am I? Like, it's like, who am I separate of what, my family raised me to think, or separate of like, what my friends thought was cool when I was younger. And, you start developing this more personal identity. And, I think that one of the things I'm most excited about heading into 30 is that I got everything out of my system in my 20s, because it means I'm going to have a very relaxing 30s, because I don't want to go out and I don't want to do anything crazy. I'm a homebody now, and I'm looking forward to a decade of being a homebody.
Oh my God, man. I have like one too many Coke Zeros and my heart's racing. I'm like, how can I do anything else?
Totally. I'm the same way now.
Too much. I'm old and boring. So do you think, here's a question, do you think motherhood has changed the way you look at making music, right? Because is it Ender's going to be 3 this year? Is that right? Or has just turned 3?
Some weeks ago, yeah.
Oh my God, just turned 3. So are you now like, oh, like I'm a mum, the energy in my body's different. Have you noticed yourself when you made like the effort and the work into this next album? Was it different? Was there a different process?
I think that, there's some things that changed just on like a basic level. Like I used to work at night, and now I'm like, I work during the day, which has kind of changed the type of music that I make, I think, because it's like, I'm not working on like demon time anymore, where everything's like really sad, and like I'm working, it's like the sunshine and like the birds are out, and I'm like, should we get a juice? Like
a matcha maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely changed things a little bit. But I think that if anything, just motherhood in general has made me a far more patient person. And this record took longer to make than any of my albums ever have. And I had to really find, patience, and I had to let things grow and let them evolve the way that they needed to. And I don't know that I would have had that level of patience before I became a mom. I think that motherhood has definitely made me way more like Zen.
Yeah.
My mom pitched it to me as the opposite. She was like, "You guys made me crazy," but for me, motherhood has sent me out. So I'm pretty lucky for that, I think.
That's a universal experience, man. I feel like all the boomers, my mum says the exact same thing. She's like, I don't know how I did it. I'm like, you're fine, mum. We're good kids. You're right.
Totally.
You're lucky.
Totally.
So I guess that means touring for you is going to look a lot different now, obviously, with the bub. But have you considered, this is me politely being like, tell me you're coming to Australia. Come on. Come down under.
I have to. It's one of my favorite places to tour, and I think that Australian crowds are some of the best in the world, and they just love music so much. And I've been playing shows in Australia since I was like 19. Some of my first festivals ever were in Australia, and I remember playing a set in the middle of the day in Sydney, I think it was Melbourne actually. And I was going on in the middle of the day. I was like, nobody's gonna know who I am. Nobody's gonna watch. And I came out, and I don't even know if my album, it was either not out yet or had only been out for a little bit because I only had a couple songs to play. And I just remember seeing all of these bros on each other's shoulders, and they were just screaming like "Tune" at me in between every song. And I was like, oh, I made it. Like, I've done it. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about that the bucket hat bros
Yes.
at the festival like my music? You can't, I'm untouchable now.
Yeah. That's the peak of success. When they're talking, when you're in the bros group chat, you've made it. When they're sharing your music. End game. Oh, that's so funny. Well, we can't wait to have you back again. I'm personally so excited for the next album. And I just love that you're going down that 2000s nostalgia route. It's my music, and I know that's obviously your generation, so I cannot wait. Do we have a release date? Can you give us a little inkling on when we're getting album?
I can't tell you right now, but I'm going to tell you so soon, I promise. It's just in true Halsey fashion. I want to do it in a very dramatic way.
Say it with your eyes. Say it with your eyes. Ooh.
I don't know if that told you anything.
Told me nothing.
I was sending it though.
Were you? You said it? I'm trying to receive it. Oh my God, we're getting it 2027. Shit. That's not the answer I wanted.
No way.
No.
I think that my fans would legitimately start a riot. They're already, the thing is like, transparently, I've kind of spoiled everyone because I was putting out records, every 18 months. And then I took a normal sized break and everyone was like, she's gone forever. I was like, this is a normal sized break, guys.
It's so funny. It's so weird, especially like getting interview artists like you. But I also do my show every night, and we do a segment where we talk about celebrity news, like whatever. But like a couple months ago, what we brought to the table, like, where is Halsey? I'm like, she's fine, guys. Everyone's like, where is her investigation? I'm like, she's all good. Like it's she's at home.
That's when I knew that I had made it. Actually, is that. When I was like, I actually remember saying to my manager, Anthony, who's also like my best friend, I remember saying like, people are asking where I am. That means they care that I'm gone. It's like, I can't wait to come back. It's just like, thank you. I appreciate it that everyone was concerned about my whereabouts and they missed me, because nothing's worse than coming back and having people be like, you were gone?
Yeah, exactly. No, you've done it. You've done it the right way. Well, Halsey's back, baby. Lucky is out now. It is so good. Give it a listen. And the new album coming very soon. I can see it in the eyes, but you guys don't know. TBC. Halsey, a pleasure having you on the show. I adore you.
Thank you so much.